Okay, October 23rd, 2018, NHL News and Notes. Welcome. My friends in Toronto saw me wearing this jersey. Yeah. Okay, so starting off, Patterson, or Peterson, however you'd like to pronounce it, or however it is pronounced, the Vancouver Canuck center, says he feels better, but he will not be rushing back to the ice after he received a concussion in a game against Florida a little while back on October 13th. If you missed out on it, Matheson, the defenseman, was kind of made to look a little silly by him, and then body checked him, and in a different motion slammed him to the ground, which gave him the concussion. Since then, apparently, he's received a text from Matheson apologizing. So there's that. I believe he was suspended 2 games for the move. It looks like Pedersen looks like he's in full practice right now. He was on the ice since yesterday. It looks like he will most probably be back in the game on Saturday against Pittsburgh. Moving on, Anaheim. Nick Ritchie will likely play against the Blackhawks tonight. The 6'2", 22-year-old winger missed 9 games due to a RFA contract dispute. He eventually signed for a 3-year deal worth $4.6 million per. Which, considering he played 76 games last season, scoring 10 goals and 17 assists for 27 points, seems pretty high. You know, since when is over $4.5 million worth 27 points? Maybe I made a mistake there. Maybe that's 4.6 million divided by 3, because that seems like they're overpaying. Like, if you're going to pay him for potential, but why would you give him a bridge contract? You know, it doesn't. That doesn't make sense to me, and I didn't see him having much leverage. Anyways, moving on. Arizona Coyotes. Alex Galchenyuk is going to be back. Is going to be making his debut tonight after missing 7 games. Arizona's going to be playing against the the Columbus Blue Jackets. He missed 7 games due to a lower body injury in the preseason. It looks like he will center a line between Keller and Krause, which will be fun to watch. Arizona is in desperate need of some goals and some skill, because although stats-wise they've been playing well, they haven't been winning games. Last year, Galchenyuk had, in 76 games, or 82 games, had 19 goals and 32 assists for 51 points. Next up, Carolina Hurricanes center Sebastian Aho sets a club record for a 9-game point streak. He in those 9 games, he's had 4 goals and 9 assists for 13 points. He's also, what's also very surprising about that is his last 2 seasons that he's played in the NHL, he's played on the wing. And a lot of people weren't aware of that. And this is his first season as center, and he's blowing it out of the water. He's doing really well. The Hurricanes, FYI, are now first in the Metro with 11 points at the recording of this video. Next we have the Colorado Avalanche. Their top line of McKinnon, Landeskog, and Rantanen have 60% of the team's goals. They're arguably better than the Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak line in Boston. They've had the team is now 6-1-2. And are second best that's the second best record in the league right now. And in those 9 games, what did I have? In those 9 games, McKinnon and Rantanen have both had point streaks. So yeah. So if the rest of Colorado's lines can start to score, they could be a very dangerous team, especially with how well Varlamov and Grubauer are playing right now for them in net. The Columbus Blue Jackets, Seth Jones, he's going to be debuting tonight against the Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes, he had an MCL sprain, which occurred. The injury occurred in the preseason. Initially, he was supposed to be out 4 to 6 weeks. The 24-year-old defenseman, who was a fourth in voting last season for Norris Trophy candidate, had 57 points, and Columbus is now 4-3-0 without him. So fantasy pool players take notice of that. The Carolina Hurricanes, Darling is activated from the IR and was assigned to the minors for a conditioning stint. He had a lower body injury that he suffered in the last game of the preseason. Last year he had a .888 save percentage, and he signed until 2021. So what is Carolina going to do? Are they going to bump another player so they can carry three goalies, so they can decide which one they want? Because one of Mrazek or McElhinney or Darling have got to go. Nobody's probably going to pick up Darling with his contract and how he's been playing. Although you never know, maybe a team might need a backup. But I mean, I should have checked out what they're paying him right now. But that would be a lot of money for a backup if he was to be picked up on waivers. The most likely scenario, because Mrazek played last night, Peter Mrazek, and he had a decent game, is if McElhinney goes on waivers. The Toronto Maple Leafs, who were his former team, who placed him on waivers to begin with, in which he was claimed by Carolina, has first dibs on him, and they can send him straight to the minors without having to waive him. So that would be a big bonus for Toronto, as they're lacking goalie depth right now. They're Kazimir Kaiseko. I can't pronounce his last name. He's the leading goaltender for the AHL Marlies in the Toronto's affiliate, and he's injured at the moment, so they could really use him. Moving along, this is a little bit of older news. It's about 2-day-old news, but because Edmonton's playing today, I thought I'd mention it. In the big Crosby versus McDavid match, which I'm sure everyone will be excited to watch, including myself. Ratty, it was placed on the IR. Ty Ratty was placed on the IR. He was playing alongside McDavid for about 5 games or so. He only had 2 points, but he did really well there in the preseason. So while he's gone, Yamamoto might get an opportunity on that first line. So we'll see what happens there. In Vancouver, Besser. I like to say Bozer. Bozer reminds me of Dozer, which reminds me of Ghostbusters, and I keep on wanting to say Bozer all the time. But it's Besser. He's now day-to-day with groin issues, and apparently he's been suffering for the last week or two. And they finally took him out and placed him on the IR. So was it last season? He had 29 goals and 55 points, and he, albeit missing the last month of the season last season, he was still tied for points on the team. So, and he looked like he was just starting to get his engine going, but he was also dealing with an off-season wrist injury or surgery, So hopefully he'll come back with full health. I know Vancouver's about to go on a road trip, which includes Vegas and Phoenix, I believe. So then they're going to do that without Pedersen and Besser. In Montreal, Victor Mete has returned from the IR, and he will return tonight against the Calgary Flames when Montreal plays the Calgary Flames. Carl Alsner looks like he might be the one who's scratched again, and Mete had missed 2 games with a hand injury. So there's that. In New Jersey, Lovejoy and Stafford were placed on the IR. Lovejoy with a lower body injury suffered against Colorado. Stafford with a upper body injury suffered against loss to the Flyers. They have recalled defenseman Eric Gryba. and forward John Quenville from Binghamton, their AHL affiliate. The games that are on tonight that have just started actually is with the Florida Panthers versus the Florida Panthers versus the New York Rangers, the Calgary Flames versus the Montreal Canadiens, the San Jose Sharks versus the Nashville Predators. I'm talking really fast, can you tell? Los Angeles Kings versus Dallas Stars, the Arizona Coyotes versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, not the Colorado Avalanche, the Boston Bruins versus the Ottawa Senators, the Anaheim Ducks versus Chicago Blackhawks, and the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Edmonton Oilers. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on today's news. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And if you have any hockey geek friends, please don't feel shy about sharing. I'll see you soon.